This opening slide sets up the theme of the talk. You're going to learn why the amount of creatine you take shouldn't be based on a generic scoop, but on your own body weight. Most people simply scoop and go without thinking about how much creatine their muscles can actually store. By the end of this session, you'll understand how to dial in your dose so that you reach full saturation efficiently and without guesswork. Here, we ask the question that brings many lifters to this topic. The majority of people scoop their creatine the same way regardless of their size. If you weigh 60 kilograms, a 5-gram scoop could be just enough to maintain, but if you weigh 100 kilograms, it may barely scratch the surface. In other words, a single serving size on the label doesn't fit everyone equally. Generic labels tend to prescribe the same dose for everyone, but a 60 kilogram person and a 100 kilogram person have very different creatine reserves. Because creatine is stored in muscle, a larger athlete has a bigger pool to fill. That means heavier lifters often end up underdosing, so it takes longer to saturate their muscles, while smaller individuals may overshoot and simply excrete the excess. It's not dangerous to overshoot, but it isn't an efficient use of supplement money. Your muscles can hold roughly 120 to 160 millimoles of creatine per kilogram of dry muscle. Supplementation fills that reserve so you have more phosphocreatine available to regenerate ATP during high-intensity efforts. Once your muscles are topped up, they plateau at an individual ceiling. The only thing dosing changes is how quickly you reach that ceiling. Your muscles can hold roughly 120 to 160 millimoles of creatine per kilogram of dry muscle. Supplementation fills that reserve so you have more phosphocreatine available to regenerate ATP during high-intensity efforts. Once your muscles are topped up, they plateau at an individual ceiling. The only thing dosing changes is how quickly you reach that ceiling. If you take too little creatine, it will simply take longer to reach full saturation, and the performance benefits will be delayed. Taking more than your muscles can store won't boost results further because there is a hard cap on storage. Matching your daily dose to your body mass ensures you reach your individual saturation point efficiently, without wasting product. Research suggests that a daily dose somewhere between about 0.03 and 0.1 grams per kilogram of body weight is enough to saturate your muscles. For a typical 70 kilogram individual, that works out to roughly 3 to 5 grams per day. Larger athletes often need 6 to 10 grams to achieve the same intramuscular concentration. Framing your dose relative to your body weight ensures you reach saturation at the same rate as others, regardless of size. Here we convert the guidelines into practical numbers. For someone who weighs around 60 kilograms, a daily intake of about 6 grams hits the sweet spot. At 80 kilograms, you would need roughly 8 grams, and at 100 kilograms closer to 10 grams. If all of these individuals used a typical 5-gram scoop, that would translate to about 0.08 grams per kilogram for the lighter person, 0.06 for the 80 kilogram athlete, and only about 0.05 for the 100 kilogram athlete. That gap explains why heavier lifters often feel creatine isn't working for them. One-size dosing was designed for convenience, not precision. If you weigh 90 kilos and stick to a single 5-gram scoop, you'll underdose and take much longer to fully saturate your muscles. If you weigh 50 kilos and follow the same instruction, you might overshoot your needs. The extra creatine isn't harmful, but your body will simply excrete it. Customizing your intake avoids both scenarios and makes the supplement work the way it's supposed to. One-size dosing was designed for convenience, not precision. If you weigh 90 kilos and stick to a single 5-gram scoop, you'll underdose and take much longer to fully saturate your muscles. If you weigh 50 kilos and follow the same instruction, you might overshoot your needs. The extra creatine isn't harmful, but your body will simply excrete it. Customizing your intake avoids both scenarios and makes the supplement work the way it's supposed to. There are 2 basic ways to reach full creatine saturation. A loading protocol uses about 0.3 grams per kilogram of body weight each day, which is roughly 20 grams for most people, divided into smaller servings over 5 to 7 days. This fills your muscle stores quickly. A maintenance protocol uses around 0.03 to 0.1 grams per kilogram per day, or roughly 3 to 6 grams, and saturates your muscles over 3 to 4 weeks. Both end up at the same point. The choice comes down to how quickly you want the benefits and how well you tolerate larger doses. On this graph, the red line represents a loading phase followed by a maintenance dose. You can see how it shoots up to full saturation in under 10 days, and then stays level as you drop down to a smaller daily intake. The blue line shows what happens if you skip loading and just take a maintenance dose from the start. It climbs more gradually and doesn't top off until around day 30. Either strategy is effective, The difference is the pace. Creatine stores build up over weeks, not hours. Missing a day or two won't erase your progress because saturation responds to the long-term average. Instead of obsessing over hitting an exact decimal every single day, focus on taking your supplement consistently. Once your muscles are saturated, maintain with a steady daily dose to keep those stores topped up. Creatine is transported into muscle cells along with sodium, and water follows sodium. Adequate hydration helps deliver the creatine and supports the cellular swelling that may contribute to muscle growth and strength. This doesn't mean you need to drown yourself in water. Just aim for steady fluid intake throughout the day and pay attention to thirst signals. Not everyone needs the same amount. Larger athletes or those with high muscle mass, think people over 90 kilograms, often benefit from 7 to 10 grams per day to reach saturation and stay there. Average size adults around 70 kilograms typically do well with 3 to 5 grams a day. If you weigh less than 60 kilos, about 3 grams per day is usually enough. These are starting points you can fine-tune based on how you feel and perform. This slide distills the body weight concept into a simple formula. Take your body mass in kilograms and multiply it by 0.1 to get your daily creatine dose in grams. So a 50 kilogram person would take about 5 grams, 60 kilograms about 6 grams, 70 kilograms about 7 grams, and so on up to 100 kilograms, which would be roughly 10 grams. It's an easy way to personalize your intake. If you're a recreational lifter or just starting out, there's no need to make dosing complicated. A daily dose of 3 to 5 grams works just fine for most people, especially if you fall within a healthy weight range of about 60 to 90 kilograms. Once your stores are saturated, using a scoop as an approximate measure is perfectly acceptable. Precision dosing becomes a personal preference rather than a necessity. Let's clear up a few common myths. First, more creatine does not equal more results. Your muscles have a ceiling, and anything above that is wasted. Second, hydration is not optional. Creatine pulls water with it, so you should stay hydrated to avoid cramping and support performance. And third, a single scoop is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Your dose should reflect your body weight. To support creatine uptake and general health, drink water consistently throughout the day. For most adults, this comes out to around 2 to 3 liters, though you may need more on hard training days or in hot weather. At the same time, avoid overdoing it. Extremely clear urine and persistent headaches can be signs you're drinking too much. Aim for balance. Whether you choose to load or go straight to a maintenance dose, the key is to stick with your chosen plan. Pay attention to your performance and make small adjustments if necessary. Bigger athletes sometimes need to inch their dose upward over time. Remember that creatine isn't magic on its own. For best results, pair it with solid training, a balanced diet, and enough sleep. Personalizing your creatine intake based on body weight around 0.1 grams per kilogram per day offers the most precision and fairness. Standard scoop dosing is convenient but often leaves bigger lifters shortchanged. At the end of the day, staying consistent with your supplement and staying hydrated are more important than getting hung up on exact calculations. Use these guidelines as a starting point, then adjust them to fit your body, your goals, and your preferences.